You're listening to Arizona Good Business Radio, featuring unique stories with leaders who believe the community is a central part of doing business. Join us on the journeys of entrepreneurs, local businesses, and champions of Arizona who believe working together, we can build stronger communities.
Welcome to Arizona Good Business Radio, featuring leaders in the Arizona business community, working to build a lasting impact throughout our state through doing good business. I'm your host, once again, Thomas Barr, Vice President of Business Development at Local First Arizona. If you don't know us, we are a statewide organization advocating for and celebrating local businesses. We're also the largest local business coalition in North America, providing resources to thousands of small businesses. We also raise awareness of the benefits of building a strong local economy. I'm thrilled today to have all the way from Goodyear, Arizona, Nicole Bennett, the owner of Perry Consulting. Welcome to the show, Nicole.
Thank you, Thomas. So excited to be here.
I'm excited you can make it here. I know we've been trying to schedule this for some time, and I'm excited because the way you described your business to me when we were first talking about partnering, I thought was very unique. You described it as the biggest secret in town or something of that nature, right?
The best kept secret in town.
The best kept secret in town. I loved that. And so I'm excited for people to hopefully be introduced to you for the first time. You have, I feel like, just this toolkit of all these amazing things that you do in the event industry. I'm excited to have a conversation today. So thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So let's start at the basics.
Okay.
So Perry Consulting, you are an event planning management expert in Arizona. Share with us a little bit about the business, what you do.
Wonderful. So Perry Consulting, event management, like you said, started in 2001.
Okay.
So it's my company, started in 2001 and really was part-time. And then I moved here, got married 18 years ago, and I was doing the same work for somebody else.
Okay.
And got married, and it was going to be half the pay when I moved to Arizona.
Okay.
And my husband's like, well, you've always wanted to just do your own thing full time. So now you only have to replace half your income because you're not going to make the whole thing. So that's what I did. We took the leap, and I've been doing it full time ever since.
So were you doing it somewhere else, not in Arizona, before coming
So
here?
I was actually working at Loyola Marymount University, but I was doing human resources and development. So I was doing a lot of team building workshops and like department retreats and those kind of things. So it was still in the event meeting conference space.
Got it.
A lot of facilitation.
Okay.
And so, but I was doing my own thing on the side as well.
Got it. Loyola Marymount, that's in California?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
Westchester, California.
Okay. I had
Go Lions.
I want to say that's where Steve Nash went to college. But
really?
Don't quote me on that, but I think he did.
That's it. Okay, now I'm going to have to look it up now.
Weird trivia questions if you ever get asked. But don't come back to me if it's not true. So anyway, so awesome. So event management, I can only imagine, very complicated industry, and also going through the pandemic, an industry that was was wiped clean of doing anything for some time, comes with all of its trials and tribulations. It's not for the faint of heart. Not everyone is cut out for the event industry. Why events, Nicole? Why is this your passion, something that you want to do?
So I think it found me, really. Mm-hmm. I used to help my mom do events. So she volunteered for our local police department, raising money for them because they needed new computers or new desk or new whatever. And there was never any money from the city to provide those things. And so she was part of a booster club that raised money for the police department. And so they would put on like huge events, like a Run Against Crime and Comedy Night Against Crime and all of those things. And so being the youngest of four, I'm always the one with my mom tagging along, trying to help. And so I just was learning things that I didn't realize that I was learning. And so then as I got older, that I'm always the planner in the group. And I was always good at it. And then I would go into places and I would go to an event and I'd be like, oh, they should have put that over there and this over here because this is not flowing
Can't
right.
leave your brain.
It won't stop.
Yeah.
And so I thought I was going to be a marriage counselor. So I was a psychology major in college. And then when I graduated, it just didn't feel like the right path. And so I started in nonprofit and then Loyola. And then I was like, we actually did a camp for young women to teach them how to start their own business.
Oh, really?
And literally it was like an epiphany at the end. Like, I'm here teaching these girls for the last 2 weeks on how to do this.
Yeah.
I need to be doing it for myself.
Totally.
And so that's when it started.
That's great. That's actually similarly how our events manager at Local First Arizona found us. Her one of her parents was in like working with chambers of commerce growing up in another state, and she just kind of like would follow along and like participate in things, and shared that that's how I got into events, found me, sort of a thing, and then went on to do all these crazy big events across the country, and then found Local First. So I found that story very similar in people as they're introduced to it at a younger age, and then find that they're really good at it.
And then your brain just works like that.
Yeah.
Because it was being trained all those years and you just didn't realize it.
Yeah.
So literally I'll go to a movie and my husband will lean over if there's an event scene and he'll be like, stop looking at it from an event perspective, just enjoy the movie.
Well, it's funny too that you say you were a psych major. I was a psych major for like 2 weeks in college, but
it didn't take.
Well, no, it did not. I was not cut out for psychology in college, at least. But I imagine some of what you learned in college, you put into your profession.
100%.
The experience that an individual has at an event, like how people are going to flow and move together. Like, I imagine you bring some of that into the industry too.
Well, because it's a people industry. So all the time you're working with teams of, different vendors and the hotel and all the guests at the event and your client, and they have a committee. This because I usually work with a nonprofit, and so there's usually a committee that's helping to make the plan for the event.
Yeah.
And so yes, all the different personalities, you have to be able to recognize the types of personalities so that you can better work with them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my job to bend to them, right? They're not going to bend to my style. So I've got to be able to recognize their style so I can bend to them.
Right.
And so that's really where my site comes into play.
Super insightful. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So what makes you the best kept secret in town? Why do you think that Perry Consulting is a company people should know about?
Because I think we're amazing at what we do. We love what we do, and that shows. We always try to go the extra mile for people and we call it magic, bring a little moment of magic to the event that they weren't expecting, not even the client was expecting. So that's always our goal. But we don't, because we're a small company, I don't put money into marketing because I don't really I'd rather pay my people a little bit more. I'd rather take my people to like a team dinner or whatever. So the money that I would be using for those things, I don't do it. And so really people find us from other word of mouth and our clients. And so I feel like unless you've talked to one of our clients, you don't really know us.
Mm-hmm.
And at an event, we don't wear branded shirts because we integrate into our clients' team. And so people don't know, because some of our clients don't always want people to know that they've hired an event management company.
Yeah.
So we operate as an extension of their team.
Sure.
Love so that. It's not like we're not deceiving, but we just are not broadcasting.
Yeah.
So, so then if you come as a guest, you're not going to know about us.
Right.
And so that's why we're the best kept secret, because we're not out there splashing it on the billboards.
Secret.
Yeah.
I love it though. It's a unique approach, but it's also something I'm super familiar with. I know a lot of companies that don't pump money into marketing, and in a sense, you've just repositioned how you market, which is delivering great service and being good to your clients and making sure that they are happy with what you're doing. And in return, you may get more business, hopefully get more business, because they will go tell everybody that they know. Right. And so it's just, I feel like it's just a different focus. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Well, cool.
That's
I've seen your events before. You've helped us out with Local First, with our We Rise graduation, and our pitch competition, which were amazing. But I've seen you put on full-fledged, I don't know how many people come to the One Community lunches, Spotlight on Success.
750.
Is that a record this year?
Yes.
Yeah. Or in October, right?
Yes.
Yeah. 700, so almost 1,000 people in one room. There's tons that go into those types of planning. Are you a 1 year out type of plan? Is it more than a year? Like, to put on those types of things and do it well, What does the planning actually look like to produce something that large?
Depends on the client. So one community, Angela, she's a force, and so yes, we already have all next year planned.
We're looking at 2027.
Yes, we have the dates locked in, contracts in place, all of the things.
Got it.
But some of our clients, like just this year, we started in January for an April event. So it really depends on the client. Like I can get it planned. I would rather have more runway, especially if we have things that we have to order because everything's on delay or could be a delay. So I'd like to have more time to implement things, but I can put something together in a month if I have to, but that's just not the...
Is that a common misconception from clients that you might run into is, oh, we got plenty of time. Like I'll call Nicole, 3 months out. Is that one of the main things that you see? Are there any other main misconceptions about event planning in general that you see?
So I feel like there's a lot. One, people think it's easy. Sometimes people think, oh, you're the event planner. So really all you have to do is call the florist, call the caterer, call the venue, and then your work is done. So you make 5 phone calls and then that's it. And I'm like, if only that was the thing. Because first of all, you have to think, are those people calling you back? Is it really just one phone call? And are you sitting there planning the whole thing in one phone call? Though, no, that's never how it is.
Yeah.
But you also have to be prepared in case something goes wrong. And even the best laid plans, something is not going to go how you think it should. And if you don't have an event professional on site to fix those things, then it's going to be a disaster. And we're not going to panic because we already expect that something is going to go left when we wanted it to go right. And so we're just waiting for the moment so we can, swoop in and fix whatever the thing is. And the other thing is people don't know what they don't know. And so there's a lot of industry lingo and jargon and that you just are not aware of. There's things in the industry that you don't know exist. And so I like to compare us to having your taxes done by a professional. So like you can do your taxes by yourself, but should you? And how much money are you leaving on the table? Because that professional knows the laws, the loopholes, the workarounds, all the things to help best get you the most money. So yes, it costs you, but it's also saving you. And it might be keeping you out of jail. I mean, but so it's the same thing with us. It's like, you don't know what you don't know. And so what is your lack of knowledge costing you in the end? So you think that you're saving money on the front end because you're not putting out the cost for an event management company, but there are things like just say for weddings, you get a stage, you get a free room, you get all these things from the hotel, but the hotel doesn't always tell you that you're supposed to get those things and you don't know it and you've never planned a wedding before. You don't know I'm supposed to get the free room. You don't know. Actually, I'm literally working with a client right now planning their conference. They booked 100 room nights at a hotel and they didn't get any comp rooms because they didn't give it to them because the person who was in charge before they brought me on board didn't know. Every 45 rooms you're supposed to get a comp room.
Oh wow.
So that's 2 rooms that they have to pay for now that they wouldn't have had to pay for had they brought me on sooner. So just those kind of things, you don't know what you don't know. So really, what is it? You think you're saving, but really there's a lot of hidden costs that you don't know about.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, we're not advocating for you to find loopholes in your taxes. Call your CPA. No, just call your CPA, your local CPA. We advocate for that.
We do advocate.
So I'm super curious. Planning for the unexpected, planning for something to go wrong. Without naming any names or any specifics, can you tell us a horror story of something crazy that happened that you had to fix in the moment?
Okay, so we have to bring down the expectation of horror story, right? Because we're not saving lives. So that's the other thing.
You could be though.
I mean, we could if I had to.
Knock on wood. No.
If I had to. Well, just this past year, actually, it was an auction event for auction fundraiser, and the auction software stopped in the middle of the event. And so we called tech support. And so people were mobile bidding. setting the stage. Like this is an hour and a half reception, and then they go inside for dinner. So this is their time. They're looking at the auction items and they're on their phones, and we have bid helpers going around and people are on their devices bidding.
Yeah.
And then people start coming up to the table like, hey, I'm having a problem. And so then we're trying to troubleshoot. And then somebody else comes up like, I'm having a problem. And then we're noticing a pattern now, because 3 people having a problem at the same time is not normal. So we call tech support and they're like, yeah, it's down nationwide.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, okay, so when are you going to fix it? Yeah, we don't have an ETA. So try this, try that. None of the stuff worked. And they're like, yeah, we're frantically working, trying to fix it, but we have no clue when it's going to be fixed. So as a backup, we always have paper bid sheets.
Okay.
So we
not ideal, but
not ideal,
yes,
but you have to do something, because this is the money that they're making, right? Yeah. So we whipped out the whatever it was, I think like 75 or 80 auction items. So then my team is going out like scavenger hunting. Okay, where's this item? Where's that item? And putting out we had the MC make an announcement. Hey, we're switching over to paper bid sheets. And what we were doing was the last amount that was on the bidding platform, whatever that was. So if the last bid was $100, we were writing that on the sheet. So like, okay, we're marking off somebody bid $100. So we're starting at the point that we left off at the platform, and we're just going to continue it on the paper. So we had the MC make that announcement to people and explain, if you had a mobile bid, you still have it. However, now if somebody outbid you on the paper is now king, and we're going to paper.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
Yeah.
And literally the group was like, I don't know what we would have done if we didn't have you.
Sure.
Like we don't know what we would have done.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, okay, those are like, you don't want those things to happen, but if they do, we're prepared for those things.
Yeah. Yeah. Prepare for the worst. Hope it doesn't happen. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But it might.
But it might.
Yeah.
And we're not going to freak out and panic. And that was the other thing he said, was like, your team was so like, I just felt like everything was going to be okay because you guys were acting like it was all okay. And so he's like, I didn't know how, but you guys were so calm and like, thank your team. And like, he gathered us all at the end of the night and was like, thank you all so much, because I don't know what we would have done.
Yeah. You've got to keep the calm, cool, collective. We got this attitude no matter what. We had an event several years ago, our Good Business Summit. Usually we will have like the mayor of whatever city we're in come in, like give a welcome in the morning, that sort of thing. So, we're there pretty early and clock's ticking, we're creeping up. Usually, they'll show up 20 minutes before because they've got tight schedules, sort of a thing. So we're not panicking, thinking anything, but 20 minutes before it starts, nothing. 15 minutes, we're starting to like think like what's going on. So we start like kind of like making calls, like reaching out, that sort of thing, get in touch with someone and find out, oh, it's not even on his calendar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Luckily though, and shout out Tempe Mayor Corey Woods, you're the best. He was like, actually, I'm at my office right now and I'm 5 minutes away. Let me jump in the car and I'll come over. And so this man woke up that morning not having this on his calendar, and he's like, oh, I got this, like we'll be there. And so what we did was we just jumped on stage, and this was the first time we actually hosted the event after the pandemic, and we just made a joke. We made a light joke about it, like in the spirit of pivoting. I think we said something like that. We're actually going to have our keynote speaker first and then get our welcome from the mayor right after. So it was like this like nice like little switch in the morning. But I mean, just like you said, always having this is going to be fine. Like the world's not going to end.
The world's not going to
end. Gonna be all right.
We're going to adjust and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And so I call those my MacGyver moments, right? Like you got to fix in the room with what you got. So like make it work. And so those are my MacGyver moments. Another funny thing, well, that one wasn't funny, but a funny thing that at a wedding at the Desert Botanical Gardens, actually. So the bride's husband, about to be husband, had made like a tiered cupcake stand, and he was all proud of it and she was all proud of him for it. And so she was like, we don't want the cupcakes to be served, we want everybody to go to the cupcake table so they can see the thing that he made. Okay, no problem. So the cupcake table's out, the table's linen and all dressed and we got the cupcakes on it, all beautiful. Well, the caterer comes over, somebody from the catering team comes over and was like, there are ants attacking the cupcakes right now.
Okay, there's a horror story. There we go.
And so I was like, what? And she's like, yes. So she brings me over and she's like, I don't know what to do. And so I said, we're picking up the table and we're taking, there was like a wall because it was outside. I was like, just help me carry the table behind the wall. And so she picked it up. We picked it up together. We walked behind the wall. And I'm like, okay, all the ones on the bottom, the ants got them. That's now ant food. So we're throwing those away. We're like, we're taking off the tablecloth. Like we're ripping all the decorations off because we're like shaking out all of these ants, right?
Oh my gosh.
And so we're shaking out the ants. We're throwing away the ones in the bottom. We're saving, like, if we don't see an ant, okay, that one's good. We're going to keep that one. And we're restocking it from, what we had left over. And then I said, you guys finished. I'm going to go check on the bride. So I go out and she's like, where's the cupcake table? I don't want it to be served. Remember, I wanted everybody to, I said, yes, everybody's going to go to the cupcake table. I promise. And she's like, well, where is it? I don't see it. I don't want them to serve it. I'm not going to tell her ants are attacking her.
I was going to say, did she find out?
Not at that moment. I was like, you're never going to hear that in the middle of your wedding.
Right.
So I was like, I know what you want. I promise it's going to happen. Let's have your dad make the toast right now. And then when he's done, the cupcakes will be back out.
Yeah.
And it'll be fine. And so she's like, okay. So I said, I promise nobody's going to be served. They're going to have to go get a cupcake. Yeah. It's going to be fine. And I said, let's just have your dad make his toast right now.
Love it.
So dad makes the toast. We bring I run back to them and I'm like, okay, when yours are done, take the table back out. Dad's making the toast. They sneak the table back in. Well, the eyes are over here. The cupcakes reappear, and then it was all fine. So
fun.
Yeah.
I love it. And good intuition to not say ants are attacking the cupcakes in the middle of the wedding to the bride.
Right.
I never saw my wedding cake.
Really?
Yeah. No, I saw a picture of it, but wasn't something I got to try that night. So
you didn't have any?
No, I did not have any. Maybe I had some. I didn't see the actual.
You guys didn't do a cutting thing?
No, didn't do the traditional.
Didn't do all that.
No.
I mean, you don't have to.
We're busy doing something else. I don't know. Dancing maybe.
But it would have been nice if you got to eat some.
Yeah. I'm not a big sweets person, so it was cool. Back to we were talking a little bit earlier about just your approach to doing business.
Yes.
You don't do marketing, you focus on delivering great service to your clients, and that in turn, is your marketing. Are there any other concepts of like being a good business owner, how you treat your staff, how you treat your contractors, like anything that you are proud of or passionate about and how you run your business that you've reflected on at all?
Yeah, so I'm most proud of our relationships with our vendor partners. We really understand that, our relationships with them are critically important. We cannot do the event without them. And so we treat them like partners. We bring on people that we feel are experts and we let them be an expert. Like, I'm not going to try to micromanage you. I'm not going to try to dictate how you're supposed to do your thing because I trust you to do your thing, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know all the little nuances. So I'm going to trust that you know all the nuances because that's why I'm working with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I let them do their thing. And then it's a collaboration of like, I always ask them, what do you need from me to set you up for success? Right? Because they have to be successful and they have to shine as well because they're representing their company or their business. And so my job is to make sure that they have all the tools on hand so that they can execute and be flawless, just like we want the event to be flawless, right? Yeah. And so we all bring our little, what I call it, an event puzzle. Everybody brings their piece to make the whole puzzle. And so we don't have a whole without all of the parts, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm really proud of that. And I will say that it showed up so there's an organization that we work with where there was the videographer. So he's making the honoree videos. The videographer, we had a good relationship with him because we treat our vendors like partners. And plus, people are people, so you should respect everybody anyway, right? Yeah. Like that's part of what I tell my team. Like, everybody's like, your job is what you do, is not who you are, and so everybody should be treated with respect, right? And so have a good relationship with the videographer. Well, the videographer a couple of years later winds up becoming the CEO of the company he was doing the videotaping for.
How cool.
And so, but they kept us on board because we had a good relationship,
Yeah.
right? So had we been treating him crappy, I'm bossing you around, I'm telling you what to do, I'm not valuing you, I'm not respecting you.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when now he's the CEO? And that's like an unexpected thing that you don't see happen all the time, right?
Yeah.
And we were with them until he retired. And now there's another CEO and we're still with that group because we treat everybody with respect. And so I'm really proud of that. Like, I feel like that's a good, and I use that with my team. Like when I'm hiring, I literally talk about respect and how we treat people. And I always use that as an example of, had we not treated him with respect, then we wouldn't still have this client because of the way he was treated.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
That's like the fundamentals of being a good business owner.
Fundamentals.
Yeah.
Being a good person.
Yeah.
Let's start there. And yeah.
Love that. Well, thank you for coming today and sharing your stories and sharing all of your expertise. If somebody's thinking, hey, this sounds like somebody I want to work with, what type of events do you do? And how can people get in touch with you?
Hashtag we travel. So, if you want to have something in Jamaica, we'll go. But we
Hint.
do. Yes. Big hint. So we do all kinds of events. Really, we work mostly with nonprofits because a lot of us have nonprofit backgrounds. And so we just understand that an event is one more task on the already overfull plate of a nonprofit professional.
Okay.
And so really we want to ease that burden. And so that's our favorite clients is the nonprofit, because we know that we're helping them take something off of their already overfull plate.
So they can focus on doing their work.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
You go raise the money and we'll handle all the logistics for the events.
Love it.
So nonprofits, we also do corporate, like we talked about the wedding, we also do social. So we can do all of it.
Yeah.
We're really good at everything, but we also are really good at auction fundraisers.
Okay.
I think that we do a really good job of packaging.
Got it.
And so it's not just like, a lot of times people just put the certificate in a plexiglass and that's on the table, and that's not how we present items. So we try to build little vignettes. We just want the tables to be visually interesting.
Yeah.
Because we really know it's about an impulse buy. Like, all the stuff that you see in an auction, you could probably get someplace else.
Yeah.
But I want you to see it at the auction and be like, oh, that's cool. And think of somebody that you could buy that thing for that you wouldn't have thought of.
That's that psychology major right there. She's back.
She's back.
Love it. Cool.
And so, we can do it all. Whatever you dream up, we can make it happen.
Right on. Well, thanks so much for being on the show, Nicole. We are pleased to work with you at Local First and have you as a member and a partner. So if you're looking to get in touch with Nicole today and you're listening, you can find her on the Local First business directory. And we'd love to introduce you to her. So reach out to Local First if we can connect you to the best kept secret in town, Perry Consulting. Thanks for being here, Nicole.
Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate you.
Yeah. And we hope everyone listening today was inspired, listening in to a leader working to leave a legacy in Arizona through doing good business. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Phoenix Business Radio, for always hosting us, and all of our legacy partners at Local First, including Perry Consulting. This is Thomas Barr from Local First AZ, reminding you that if we want to build a better Arizona, we need to connect deeply with the local businesses that make us proud to call this place home.
Thank you for listening to Arizona Good Business Radio with Local First Arizona, where entrepreneurs and local businesses come together to build stronger communities. We hope your business is inspired to take part in building a better Arizona.